This episode is sponsored by WOMEL. More than a leadership magazine, WOMEL is a resource that helps women grow their business, mentoring, attentive support, and services. To learn more about WOMEL services and the magazine, go to their website. Go to WOMELLE.com or give them a call at 702-747-3054. Leadership, influence, build your business, do and have it all with WOMEL. Contact them today. Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margo, Lovett. Hello, everybody. It's Margo Lovett back with another episode. This week, it's you and it's me once more and again. This is for those of you who are not familiar with the show. This is not the norm. I've just taken a month so that I can review a few points that I feel are important to bring out from my very first book, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention. How I went from game show hopping, excuse me, to international show host and speaker in 1 year. Why is this important to the person, this woman that's reinventing herself? She's coming from corporate. Now she wants to be a author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster, because this book was written in 2017, actually published in 2018. And the things that I wrote in 2017, they're still valid thoughts. They are thoughts that I built up on. And now in 2019, I can put some icing on that cake. And I know that it's my obligation to share and expound upon what I found to be true for the woman coming behind me, the woman that's thinking to reinvent herself. And she has questions about listening to her gut. She's wondering about reflecting, and she's even questioning what should I do as far as investing in myself goes. Am I okay to Google everything or Facebook, YouTube everything? Am I okay with that? And these things I cover in my book, in my very first book. So I've taken a month to break things down and take a deeper dive look with a modern day application to some thoughts. And today we're going to take a look at the part that says, look the part, but also be it. And we always sort of hear people talking about never let them see you sweat, or don't let them see you cry. You know, oh my God, so often that's just a sign of weakness in corporate. So we're going to cover those things. And I want to, I just want to take another look at it, because maybe it's going to give you another look at how you perceive crying and as you've making this going through your reinvention process. I hope that it will give you another look at looking the part and being the part. So let's start out right there. Look the part, but also be it. Quite simply, when I go to a networking event, I love a networking or a business meeting, I love to wear St. John knits. That's just me. They pack well, they wear well, you can mix and match them well. I happen to feel very well groomed when I have that brand on. So what I'm telling you is find your brand and build up on that, so that when you go, you're comfortable, you're able to have fun, and people can identify that brand with your personality, with your product, your service, your book, that outfit that you have on, that suit, that dress, those pants, whatever you have on, they well represent who you are on a consistent basis. But as we take care and look at and prepare for our outside, all the more we need to make sure that when we open our mouth, we introduce ourselves, when we speak about our book, when we are on a panel, we're even on a stage and we are presenting, we're teaching, we have to make sure that out of our mouth flows knowledge and wisdom, and it's able to impart movement for the listener. That, my sister and my brother, is much more important than having 15 St. John knits, the total outfit in my closet any day. I'd rather have one or two nice outfits and something that reflects who I am, makes me feel comfortable. I'd rather have one or two nice pieces, but it's more important to have enough knowledge, experience to service those in need of the power of podcasting. That's much more important to me. And how do I position myself to be able to help the person that is coming to listen to me, or the person that I am meeting, I was destined to meet that day? I'm looking real sugar sharp, but I don't have a clue as to what's going on in the industry or how I can help that person. I never want to show up that way. So that's all I'm saying. We look the part, and we'll continue to add on to our wardrobe. But to be the part, that is Trump. And that always takes precedent. And that too is something that you're always building up on. I don't care whatever industry you're in, there's always a manual, there's always a new book, there's always something that you can read. There's, of course, always a podcast that you can tune into that's going to position you so that you have knowledge, information that you can impart to somebody else. So we don't just go looking the part, but we are the total package for someone, even for ourselves. And then what about that thing of don't let them see you cry? You know, we're not super women. We've come from corporate where that show of emotion is often uh, not appreciated. It's really kind of cumbersome. It becomes the elephant in the room. But when you are an author, and this is what I have found, when you are an author, when you are a podcaster, when you are an entrepreneur, according to what industry you're in, who your client, your customer is, those things will come up. The emotions will bubble up, and there will be an outpouring of joy or even extreme sadness. And let me tell you, when I heard Lee Jane's story, she's the bronze medalist that came on and onto Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, and she shared her story, very transparent, left no stone unturned. I cheered, but I also teared up that someone would have to live through such trauma and they were able to come through triumphant. It did something to my insides. It really did. That will always be one of my rah-rah stories. I shall never forget that conversation. And I'm going to play it again before 2019 is over. That conversation landed Lee Janes on the cover of Womel, which is a women's leadership magazine also. Powerful, powerful story. And I think you'd have to have be about 100 skins upon you not to be touched by her story. Kat Coley, she is a lady who I met the very first year of my podcast. She came on to the show, shared her story, and my mouth still falls open when she shares how she oh my goodness, how she actually was arrested and had to do prison time for a crime that was committed against a corporation, how it made a tremendous impact upon her family, but The rah rah. Once again, you always listen for the rah rah. That woman landed on her feet. She is one stupendous coach, counselor, mother. She is an amazing woman that opened up doors in my mind and caused me to see and understand some situations a lot better just by her transparency. And then there's Dr. Daphne Clark Hudson, who is another woman that's featured in my book. You see, her business, her voice, her reinvention, it's not just my story. I had to add in the stories of some of the women that I had a chance to have a conversation with that very first year, how they changed my life, that my outlook on things, and how they built up my confidence as a podcaster, as a communicator. But Dr. Daphne Clark Hudson, she's an amazing woman also who had a heck of a time graduating from high school. And did you catch the fact that I said Dr. Daphne Clark Hudson? And what she does for women is phenomenal. Her work and enlarging us and counsel and just being good old Dr. Daphne, full of energy and vibrancy. And I can't say enough about these women, how they made me cry, how they in turn made me cheer with sheer joy. So when someone says, don't let them see you cry, do that if you want to. Honey, you reinvented yourself. You do this thing the way you want to. That's all that I'm trying to say. So when I look back at that first year of her business, her voice, her conversation, we were all about inspiration, because it was inspiration that caused me to even hang in there with the building of the platform of the show. And that was what I wanted to present to each and every woman that listened. And even men, we had 8% men tune in on a weekly basis. So it wasn't just for women, and it still isn't. We still have men that tune in. But I wanted people to feel inspired. That was the first thing. I always felt that inspiration is what's going to motivate you. But I found 3 years on down the road here that we have changed up. And many of you have reinvented yourself. Many of you are authors. Many of you are entrepreneurs. A few of you have become podcasters. And now we are in a place where I am obligated to give you how-to instruction. And that's what I've implemented in her business, her voice, her conversation. And when I talk about how-to instruction, I have guests on like Deanna Dupree, who talks about how to enter a room and command that room just from the door, from the very first step. The way you enter that room, you can command that whole room. And I saw her do this. I saw the woman just, oh my God, just wow. The way she steps in, the way she does her shoulders, and just her confidence and mannerism. Do you know, she came on to the show and she told us how to do that. That's a very important how-to. And then another how-to instruction is Linda Waterhouse. She brought us up to speed on how to use that banner space in LinkedIn. That's prime real estate. And when we don't have a picture, we don't have our picture there, when we're not utilizing the LinkedIn banner space, we really are repelling customers, clients. We're downplaying what we're all about. And that's how-to instruction. She told us how to do that also. The show has also moved into information. Belinda Aramide, she came on and she really broke down the bones as to what's going on with LinkedIn, the changes that she sees, and how we can best prepare for them, how we can utilize LinkedIn right now and allow it to work for us before the changes come in. Because Geraldine Thomas, she was a guest on the show and she already told us that she's seen big changes on LinkedIn. And Belinda came on and informed us as to, yeah, changes are coming. We better do this. We better pay attention. And then with information, I had Barbara and Gracia on, and she talked to us about trademarks and patents, straight information. This is stuff, the how to instruction and the information. You can utilize all of this right now. So that's what the show has moved into. But I also make sure that there's stories that inspire you. And I shall never forget my conversation with Bruce George, who brought deaf poetry jam. And we know that it was a weekly show. And then I think that it also went to Broadway, but how he was bold enough to take it to Russell Simmons' brother, and Russell Simmons' brother took it to Russell Simmons, and Def Poetry Jam was on television, and it moved towards winning a Tony and Peabody, and that was quite an inspirational story that Bruce George told me. Also, Congressman Walter Tucker III. I read his book, and by the time we had our conversation, it was phenomenal. I mean, congressman, he'll always be congressman, former mayor of the city of Compton, and now he's pastor, now he's Pastor Walter Tucker III. Phenomenal gentleman, inspiration from the very first syllable that came out of his mouth. And then I'll leave you with Susan Taylor. You know her from Essence Magazine. I was so honored to have a conversation with her as she's talking about how she's changing the conversation about education in these United States. So as you can see, within 3 years' time, we moved from just stories of inspiration, but I bring to you how to instruction and information. So, how does all this stack up next to you? My word is for you to just get started. Get started. Become a podcaster. Get that book out and write your book, launch that business, get that business plan together, get your coach, your strategist, whoever you need to help you launch that business, the Small Business Association, somebody. But get started. And then as you are on the way, be sure that you keep investing in yourself, because many of these things are not quick, get rich quick type of platforms. Podcasting certainly is not one that will get you rich quick. Making a book, writing a book, publishing will definitely not make you a millionaire. It definitely opens up doors, and it heightens your standard among other people. And entrepreneur, we all know the first 5 years are amazing climbs, ebbs and flows. So look the part, but always enlarge your territory. Always invest in yourself. Read, buy books, go to programs, conferences. Do what you need to do so that when as you are launching, developing, maintaining, as you are doing what you need to do to reach your destination, you don't just look like you're on the way, but you are on the way, on the inside and out. So that's all. That's it. As I've taken 4 weeks to actually talk about my book, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. All truth, no fluff, easy read. And now we are moving up on 2020. And that means that the show is getting ready to be 3 years old. And I'm grateful for that because many podcasters do not get past 7 episodes. There's something about that 7 episodes that just kind of turns people off. I think by that time you decide, I either love it or I hate it. And I love podcasting. I really, really do. So, my website, Margo, www.margolovett.com. When you go over there and you leave your name and your email address, I have a free, what do I want to call it? I believe in leveraging and you understanding how podcasts and the podcast industry can work for you. Be you an author, entrepreneur, you can make it work for you. And I have a free marketing PDF over there for you. I think it's 5 pages, something like that. And again, I write from what I know. So go over there and get your free copy. Also, again, for the first 10 people, no, I'll drop it down to 5. For the first 5 people that go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, I am going to give you a free copy of the Itty Bitty Book of Words, which is a book that I am a part of. It was 2 years in the making, but each one of us was given the opportunity to choose a word, and my word was reinvention. And in 15 words, we had to put a definition to that word. So my 15-word definition for reinvention is there. But I want to give you a copy of that book, and right now it's only in Kindle version. So if you don't have a Kindle, I'll cycle this offer back around again when the hardback comes out. But as you thumb through, and it's from A to Z, it's alphabetical order, you are going to run upon some words that are motivating you, that will teach you, that will make you think. And the author and creator of that definition, they're there also, and you get a chance to find out who's doing what. Some of these people may be in your own industry. So what you want to do is go over to my website, margolovett.com, and be sure to join my email address and leave your leave your name and your email so that I can get a Kindle version over to you, the Itty Bitty Book of Words. So a couple freebies over there at my website. And we're getting ready to get the brand new newsletter out the top of the month. So thanks for listening. I sure appreciate you greatly. Buy my book. I know that it's going to inspire you. Don't look the part, just look the part, be the part. You can do that. You can be it inside and out. And when they say don't let them see you cry, honey, you do you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, all right? Reflect always, because the day that I forgot to reflect and celebrate the big and yes, the small wins, I stepped away from my purpose. And I don't want to see you do that, because purpose is what builds us up. Purpose is part of our foundation. When on the days that we don't want to do this anymore, we revisit our purpose. And then I also spoke about listening to my gut and, of course, investing in myself. All right. And we started this conversation out with a good look at our purpose. So, 3 different shows, 3 different episodes. They're all in the November 2019. So take a listen. I implore you to binge listen so that it can give you some insight into next year, 2020, give you some insight into your thought process. All right. Thanks for joining me. I will be back. All of December is just chock full of podcasts that I absolutely fell in love with in in all of 2019. They are stories of inspiration. They are shows of information and how to's, and all of December. Oh my goodness. And every show comes out, a new show comes out every Tuesday. But throughout December, I'm going to have 2-3 shows each week. So as you're relaxing and I want you to take care of yourself as we go into this holiday season. Don't forget about self-care. Take a listen, binge listen to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. You'll find us over on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio. We are on, of course, Apple Podcasts. I have a YouTube channel, Google Play. We are on Public Radio, iHeartRadio, Pandora. You will find us everywhere. Do subscribe. As a matter of fact, when you go to my website, margolovett.com, on the very first page, there are some icons up underneath on the left-hand side, towards the very on top of the fold, as they say. Click on one of them. It'll take you over to Spotify or Radio Public, and subscribe. There is no charge to subscribe, but what happens is that every time a new show comes out, that you have access to it. It pops right up on your cell phone or on your laptop, and you have access to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, and not have to go and try to find it. So that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. And take care. Take care during the holidays. Bye-bye. I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.